order. We are still short one of quorum, so we will wait for anything that comes in case we got some other board members coming for that. But with that, I'll call the meeting to order for August 14th, 2025 for Neighborhood Board 5. And let's start right away with our safety reports and our friends from the Honolulu Fire Department, Waikiki Station. Is there somebody online for this? And I am not seeing anyone, but if someone comes up later, we will go back to that. And for our Honolulu Police Department's District 6, Waikiki Kapiolani Park, Diamond Head. Thank you.
Hello, how you all doing? Hello, how you all doing? My name is Lieutenant Cyrus Hanuna, Hanuna. I'm going to read the July stats. We had 1 robbery in July. We had 7 the previous month. 12 burglaries. 10 the previous month. We had 133 thefts, 122 the previous month. We had 13 UEMVs, 9 the previous month. And again, a UEMV is when like the car gets broken into. Assaults, 43, 30 per previous month. Sex crimes, 4 and 4. Bike, skateboards on sidewalks, we had 5 this month, 4 the previous month. Speeding, we had citations, 0. Warnings and 0 and arrests. The previous month we had 2 citations. Parking, we had 2,332. Previous month we had 1,808. Loud muffler prohibited noise, we had 4. The previous month we had 14. Park closure, we had 74 citations and 22 arrests. The previous month we had 87 citations and 14 arrests. Total cost for service, we had 4,400. And the previous month we had 4,419. Anybody have any questions?
Are there any questions for our officer from District 6 or any online? I did have a question. Somebody asked me about the loud muffler law that was just changed. And I've heard you won't stop people if they have a loud muffler, but if they've been pulled over for something else, is that when they would get a citation for that? Or how is that going to be implemented?
I think it's still kind of going through our legal side right now because they're kind of still interpreting it to see exactly how we can implement that. Like if can we use that as our PC for doing it, or we need to like have some other violations that we can use that also. We're still kind of running through the water with that one.
Okay, and PC is like primary cause?
Probable cause. Like
probable cause.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am?
I do have a question. I drive through Kapiolani Park area at night. And on the way, I go through Waikiki, and I've seen a lot of young men doing wheelies on mopeds and motorcycles and
On the e-bikes.
e-bikes. And in light of that young man that was just recently killed on the east side, what are you trying to enforce that, stop them from doing that?
Yes, we are. We do have ongoing things with that. Our night watch has ongoing things with
Yeah,
that.
because I'm concerned about them running into tourists as well and damaging, hurting somebody.
Yeah, no, we do have ongoing things. Our major is fully aware of that, and he has ongoing things with that right now.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions for District 6?
Chair? Oh, District 6.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for coming. And for District 7, Diamond Head, Kapahulu, St. Louis Heights, I think someone is online, an officer.
Hi, good evening, Lieutenant Thompson from District 7.
Hi.
The stats for July, there was 12 motor vehicle thefts with 9 previously reported, 7 burglaries with 7 previously reported, 16 thefts with 11 prior, 8 unauthorized entry into motor vehicle cases with 11 the previous month. A total call for service for the month of July, 5,662. I know last month someone requested the stats for motor vehicle collisions on Diamond Head Road. So I ran the stats from this year, January 1st through today. And the area I did the search, it was from the District 7 side of Kapiolani Park on Diamond Head Road, all the way around to Hockey Ave. So I guess the northeast side of Diamond Head. So the total MVCs, there was 13 major MVCs, 34 minor MVCs. Of those 11, there were 11 injuries with 4 requiring hospitalizations. There were serious injuries or less. 2 drivers were arrested for operating vehicle under influence or DUI. 5 of them were fled scene cases where one of the drivers took off and didn't leave information or dug out from the accident. I know there's concern about the Makale area. There's 3 major MVCs in that area. I think 2 of them were fixed objects. Yeah, that's the stats for the MVCs from the beginning of this year to today. The safety tip I bring today is back to school safety tips, and this can be found on Honolulu Police Department Honolulu Police, so HonoluluPD.org. And the 2 I'm going to highlight is bicycling and walking to school. Bicycling, please wear a helmet, wear comfortable, bright colored clothing, or reflective vests. Use lights if the weather is dark, the lighting is dark. Make sure your bike's in good working condition, good tires, good chain and whatnot. Use caution when riding on sidewalks. Use caution when riding on the streets. Be aware of pedestrians as well as vehicles. And for walking to school, because children are small and short in nature, sometimes drivers can't see them, so the children have to be extra careful about approaching intersections. Have them practice the route prior to going to walking on their own. Children are impulsive, may act without realizing the dangers around them, such as running across the street or when they see a friend chase after a ball, etc. Children lack judgment of speeds and distances. So explain that to them and have them practice safe crossing. But like I said, more tips and stuff can be found on the HonoluluPD.org website. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Are there questions? Yes, Madam Matson.
Aloha. I believe at the last meeting, we talked about getting statistical reports on the Diamond Head Road accidents from Kapahulu Park through the third lookout. And I think there was some sort of a commitment made by HPD to begin to provide those statistics to us incrementally. Do you have any of those statistics tonight, perhaps from the last month? We have almost weekly collisions and accidents, and so we wanted to get a jump start on this. Also, second thing, I'm not sure if you're aware, but our board received a notice that the City Department of Transportation Services is going to be installing 2 stop signs going east and west at Makale Place. So that will help. Hopefully those stop signs will be enforced because people have a tendency to just drive right through them in that area. So back to the first question, do we have any statistics of the multitude of accidents for perhaps the last month or 6 months?
So I read stats from accidents from the beginning of the year till today. I just gave those out just prior to. If you need them again, I can read them off again.
Well, would we be able to get that printed for the board to review?
I can email it to the chair.
Please, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for District 7? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much for coming tonight. And have a safe rest of your month.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to skip over the next one for just a minute and come back to it here, but let's go into the public interest reports and events announcements. So with that, we have Kathleen Pahunui.
Aloha.
Over the Board of Water Supply. It's
Thank
lovely
you.
to see you in person.
Yes, I was traveling the last couple of months for work, so sorry I was not here, but I heard Stephen did a great job. So I do have one main break to report. It was at 2863 Kalakaua, and it was an 8-inch main, and that happened at the end of July. And our Water Wisdom Program, we want to talk a little bit about that. The Board of Water Supply's Water Wisdom Program is designed to support condominiums and townhome residents, owners, and property managers in reducing water usage. This can help lower operating costs while safeguarding our drinking water today and for generations to come. So for us, people who live in townhomes and condos don't get a water bill from us, generally speaking. So we call them hard to reach water users, yet they can still use a lot of water, running the faucet while they're brushing their teeth and stuff. And that still matters to us in terms of water conservation. So we've been going out. In fact, we're at Kahala Towers tonight by Kahala Mall doing a presentation to the landscaping people. So our rebates are still good for people that live in condominiums and townhomes. So if you want to replace your toilets, you can still get $100 off. All we need is the name of your condominium or your townhome group. So we're encouraging people that live in these kinds of multi-unit facilities, give us a call and we're happy to come down, do a presentation to your board, to your members. We've done a number of them already and they've been very well received. You may have noticed that we started or will be starting our water system improvement project on Montserrat. Construction started the week of 7/21, so that will be ongoing. It's not a very long part of Montserrat, but there will be some traffic impacts. So just want to keep you aware of that. And at the last board meeting, we had a couple of questions. Board member Velasco asked, would like a briefing about the $1.2 billion lawsuit the BWS filed against the Navy. It is too early in the process to speculate on the outcome or what may happen. The BWS will provide updates on the lawsuit as they come available. As you can tell, that was written by a lawyer. So, yeah, we have to be careful about what we say in public because now that we filed the lawsuit, but anything that happens that is newsworthy, we will definitely bring that to you. So thank you for the question. And then Chair Welch asked about the Diamond Head fencing project. Will there be another coat of paint to give it a more camouflaged appearance? No, the painting is done, but we have planted all of the native plants. And so we're waiting for them to take hold. And then as I promised, I'll take you guys up there for a walkabout when they just said, let's get the plants in the ground and rooted and working, growing before we take you up. And once those come up, you really won't see the fencing at all, even with the current paint and then with the plants, and it should look pretty good. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you. Are there questions for Board of Water Supply representative? Madam Metzen?
Not in that capacity, but we do have something on the agenda that.
For later. I'm not leaving. I'm staying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was my question.
Yes, I'll be here.
Great, thanks.
Could you, are a couple quick questions. Are the plantings being irrigated at this time?
Yes.
Okay, and then for the section of Montserrat that's going to have the water main break, will that involve lane or road closures at all? And what exact section is that going to be?
Okay, let me see. I have a
You may
map.
not know, but
I'll have to get back to you. I thought I had it down here, but looks to be on the other side of Pocky Avenue is where it's starting, not by the park, but on the other side.
so kind of uphill of Pocky,
Yeah,
so in front of Unity Church up to that
most
whole area?
likely, and by the school and et cetera. Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it has. Okay.
yeah. And there will be lane closures. We do apologize, but it is during the days and our guys are usually pretty good about getting all the information out there. So we
Okay.
appreciate your patience with us. The other one went really fast, the Diamond Head one. So we hope this will go pretty fast too.
Okay. So folks should just avoid it if they can.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Any other questions for Kathleen? Okay, we'll see you in a bit. If, oh, I'm sorry, it's Lisa Yamamoto at KCC, and for some reason I put Lisa Nakamura. I'm sorry, Lisa. I know who you are. So we'll brain
Thank
freeze
you.
there. So go
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you, Chair. Aloha mai kako. Let's see, not too many updates from Kapiolani Community College, just that the fall semester will begin on Monday, August 25th. So for Kapiolani Community College and the rest of the 10 campuses of the University Hawaii system. Looking forward to the fall semester, and I think that's about it from me.
Are there any questions for our representative from KCC? No? Okay, thank you so much, Lisa. Thanks for staying on, and have a great rest of your long weekend.
Mahalo.
Hey, are there any other announcements about public events, parades, or similar upcoming activities? We did have someone who wanted to share about something who wrote to me. And anybody out there in the virtual world? I don't see right now, but okay, well, if there's not any other public announcements, then I'm going to suggest that we go back to, ready for that? Should we? So otherwise we're going to have public. Yeah. Hang on just one second. That's
Yeah.
okay. So going back to the filling of vacant board seats, we do the board. So just as the note for folks that may not have the agenda in front of them, we did ask the neighborhood commission to approve a request to change one vacant subdistrict seat to an at-large seat for the 2025-27 board term. It's only through this term, and anyway, there's a request that I would have, but I don't know if it's shared among the other board members, that if we want to extend that to other vacant board seats where there's not someone in that sub-district, that we could also ask them to open for anything. For example, 2 members might vacate from our St. Louis district and no one might be there to fill them. So in that case, would we want to have that opened up for just this term? And if so, we need to go back to the neighborhood commission and ask them to open up any vacant seats for just that term if there isn't someone from the sub-district. But maybe that's something we can consider right after we do some filling of this vacant board seat. So is there anyone for the sub-district 2 Kapahulu seat who is interested to fill or online? And we have 2 other, okay, if there's no one from that area specifically, we have 1 at-large seat, which is vacant, and 1 for Diamond Head, Fort Ruger, Kapiolani Park, Montserrat. And so, I see there's Linda right there. I think she's interested in that. Maybe Arlene, you can point her that we're down here. Before that, is there anyone from our at-large seat that is interested in taking over that position? Seat. Okay, there's 2 of you. Okay, then if you would both come up and tell us a little bit about yourself, then we will have a motion to okay, and then one board member needs to nominate in that case. So if you'll both come up here for that one.
Chair Welch, which
Yes, ma'am.
seat are we doing now?
Say it again.
Which sub-district
This is for the at-large.
in Kapahulu?
It's so the way that the commission did it was it said just at large. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Good evening, board members of the committee. My name is Catherine Stanaway. I live in the Diamond Head area, so I'm interested in both at large and the sub-district 2 or 3. I'm sorry. So I lived in Oahu for 17 years. I actually graduated from William S. Richardson School of Law in 2017. And I'm not a practicing attorney, but I work for the state of Hawaii and I in natural resource management. So I'm really interested in our natural environment. And I'm married and I have a young daughter, and I'm really interested in making our community a better place for her future.
Thank you. And sir?
Hi, everyone. My name is Chad Wasden. I live in District 3, I'm told, of Kapahulu. And I've been here for 10 years, on island for 12. I work for Straub as one of their urgent care doctors. And I live next door to my brother on Hayden Street, and we had a great time taking my niece to her first day of kindergarten this week. So I'm really concerned about the goings on around Waikiki Elementary and Diamond Head and fire safety and the preservation of our neighborhoods with problems such as monster houses and things like that. So those are some of my main concerns. I'd be honored if I could be part of the board. Thank you.
Are there any other folks for the at-large seat? And remember, again, we will still have at least 2 seats to be open after this. So if we ask the neighborhood commission to open it up again, assuming there's no one from actually sub-district 2, then that's, allows more members of the community who are actually interested in serving to be able to serve. Okay, with that, for the at-large, yes, ma'am.
I'm ready to nominate.
Go ahead.
I nominate the first candidate for the at-large seat.
Okay. For our first candidate. Oh, Michelle Matson. Okay, and are there other nominations?
Kathleen, Catherine. Michelle did.
At-large.
Okay. And okay, this is Arlene, and I nominate Chad.
Okay, then we'll do a roll call.
Sorry, could I have Chad's last name again? Austin? Austin? Okay. Okay. Okay, so when I call your name, you can either vote for, let me just double check their names out. Okay. Vote for Stanaway or Wasden. Knight? Absent. Wong? Oh, Bruce Wong. Abstain. Okay. Alan? Absent.
I really can't hear you down
Oh,
there.
sorry. Okay. Alan? And then the names are Stanaway and Wasden.
First names, please.
Oh, first name is Catherine
The-
Stanaway.
Is Catherine or Chad? That's what we're,
Yes, Catherine or Chad.
Chad. Okay, Catherine.
Catherine, okay. Then Murchie?
Chad.
Chad, okay. Witherwax? Okay, absent. Miranda? Absent. Welch?
Chad.
Chad. And then Velasco?
Chad.
Thank you. Dennis? Absent? Oh, she's there. Okay. Dennis? Chad? And Matson?
Catherine.
Catherine? And Wasman? Let's see. Oh, yeah, Wasman is not online. Okay, not here. Actually, no, so, oh. Samuel? Okay, wrote it for Chad. Yep. So I have 2 for Catherine, 5 for Chad, 1 abstain. Then with that, Chad will take the at-large seat. Yep. Yep.
Sorry, what was the vote count again?
It was 5 for Chad, 2 for Catherine, and 1 abstention, and that Chad takes the seat for at-large.
I don't understand. Is there a majority? I mean, the regular 8 votes?
It's a majority of the quorum, which we have.
Well, the majority.
Yep. And again, Catherine, if the board approves that we ask again to open up a couple of other at-large seats, then, but also right now we have sub-district 3. So Chad, congratulations. We'll get you sworn in just
Oh, she's a subject too? There's a.
So we'll have the election for sub-district 3 first. I don't know if you want to wait until after that to swear him in, or how do you want to do that? Okay, so just hang on. Well, actually, he's a voting member now. Yeah, why don't you come in and get sworn in, because you've already been sworn in. So, or I guess we're going to get you sworn in.
Come up here.
I don't even know how public it needs to be. We'll take a couple minute recess here. So pop some popcorn and we'll come back in a minute.
We have 3 in Kapahulu, 1 in Diamond Head. It is not.
Just like this one.
Neighborhood, anybody is.
Right. I know.
It's for the site.
I think that's bad. Everything that I think the 3 that's divided. So for 503. God.
No, anyway.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting back to order for now. We have Subdistrict 3, Diamond Head, Fort Ruger, Kapiolani Park, Montserrat. We have one vacant seat for this. And again, we can ask the commission to open up the other vacant seats because we'll still have 2 left after this for Subdistrict 2. But let's take that up after this. So are there any folks who would like to run for Subdistrict 3? Okay, and ladies, if you would like to come up and introduce yourself. Okay, and we have Catherine Stanway.
Hi again, Catherine Stanaway. Don't know if you want me to repeat exactly what I said before, but happy to run again for the sub-district that I live in. Thank you.
Question?
Say it again.
Question?
Say it again, Arlene.
I was out and I missed your presentation, but I know I recognize you, but just real brief.
Apologies. Okay, so my name, I can lower this. Thank you. Tiptoes. Okay, so my name is Catherine Stanaway. I live in the Diamond Head area. I have lived on Oahu for almost 18 years now, actually. And I graduated from William S. Richardson School of Law in 2017. I work for the state of Hawaii in natural resource management. I also have experience like researching property issues and stuff. So that's what's made me interested in being on the board. And yeah, I'm married and I have a young daughter. You probably see me walking around with my daughter around the neighborhood. But yeah, I'm just interested in making our community a better place.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
I have a question for the candidate.
okay, go ahead.
Welcome, Catherine. I'd just like to know what you do for DLNR, where you're keenly interested in that department because of Diamond Head and state parks. And so I'd like to know a little bit more about what you do with DLNR.
Sure. Yeah. So I work for the Division of Forestry and Wildlife. I work on administrative rules and I write bills to legislature and also do land acquisition and various other tasks as I'm assigned. But those are my main duties in my position.
Thank you. And Linda?
My name is, you have to excuse me, I'm a little sick, but I made the meeting. I will always make the meeting. Okay. My name is Linda Wong. I live in Pu'alei Circle, so I'm certainly in the district. And I've been on the board since 1993. So that's my first certificate that I saved. They had big ones then. And so that's about 30 years. And I've done quite a few things. I didn't always put them through the neighborhood board, but I proved that the Kahala Hotel, the frontage of the hotel, the building itself is their property line. So none of that beach in front of the Kahala Hotel that they had all those $60 whatever dollars an hour cabanas and all that stuff cemented in the ground. The whole front beach was not Kahala Hotel's land. So we proved that. Sierra Club gave me a lawyer and it took about 3 years. And so now the Kahala Beach is used by the people, for the people, and of the people. The general manager, after going to those meetings for 3 years and visiting every city and county department there is, the mayor called before we came and says, just don't give her the whole beach. And so the forgot what I was going to say. The main thing here that I want to say tonight is the only reason I missed the sign up to put your candidacy in. Okay. The only reason I missed the candidacy to get my blurb in was that I just found out that my little sister has Alzheimer's and she can't remember anything. So I was busy doing that from Hawaii when she lives in California. And I pretty much, that was my priority. So that's why I forgot. I've done a number of things for Diamond Head. I've been the Diamond Head Subdistrict 3 chair for many years. I've been the president, the chair, vice chair, the secretary, and the treasurer of this neighborhood board. I've mentored new people that came in. I remember I tried to help Laura when she came in. And I've initiated, I've done some bills. I did the adoption law bill. I changed that with a group. And then also with a group, we made the leaf blower law so that they can't, they kick up feces in the air with the grass, and they make people sick. So there's one that's DOH that's for health, and the other one is for noise, because it goes over the noise levels that are allowed. So those have been in the works, getting stricter and stricter each year. I've done a number of other things at the legislature too. And I've done just about everything. The good thing is that I'm able to tell you, give you backup history and tell you what happened the last time it did it. So that's really important knowledge. The guy that came to the neighborhood board meeting last month, he says, that's wisdom. That's a really good thing to have. So it was nice to me that somebody looked at it like that. I'm open for any questions, if you'd like to ask me any questions.
Thank you, Linda. I think we're reasonably familiar with you. Any specific questions for Linda? Okay,
Thank you. And I'd
Thank-
very
thank
much
you.
like to continue my role with this board. I
Okay.
wouldn't have missed it except for family problems.
Okay, then with that, I will take nominations for Subdistrict 3.
I'll nominate Linda Wong.
I will nominate Catherine Stanway. If you can, are there any other folks who are interested? See online, and if you can do a roll call for us, Rachel.
When I call your name, call for Catherine or Linda. Knight, absent. Bruce Wong. Abstain. Okay. Julia.
Linda,
Linda. And Margaret.
Catherine,
Catherine. Okay. Then Ronan. Nothing. Anthony. Absent. Winston.
Linda,
Linda. Okay. Charlie.
Linda,
Linda. Laura. Catherine. Michelle.
Linda,
And Samuel. And I'll get a type of response. Linda, thank you. Okay, so with that, I have 2 for Catherine, 5 for Linda, and then 1 abstain. So Linda will take the Subdistrict 3 seat. Thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to move that we open up the other seat for an at-large seat because I believe that we have an excellent candidate present tonight.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. So, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, okay, I second.
And I would like to make a friendly amendment to that motion is that if any seat opens up during this term where there is not someone from the sub-district presenting first, that be allowed to be open to any person in the neighborhood. Just so we have maximum flexibility moving forward.
Clarification, in the neighborhood, you mean in the sub-district or at large?
At large.
I've had only one concern with the at-large issue because each of our community districts, and I'm not going to call them neighborhoods, they're community districts, have completely separate identities and characteristics and integrity. And we all support each other, but our priority should be a resident from the specific sub-district, if at all possible.
I agree.
If we can't meet quorum for some reason, we need to think about at-large. But once you get into at-large, if you turn the whole board at-large, you could have one of these you know, pro uh, mega development people in 5 seats.
Could be.
So
So are you suggesting then just one more at-large seat?
yes, we have an excellent candidate who shares a lot of our strong interests
Because from this point on, we'll have
at large.
two vacancies in sub-district 2.
Well, we have a candidate here tonight.
We don't have that flexibility yet.
No,
We
it has to go through the commission.
Right. So in that case, do we want to just only ask for the flexibility to have one additional at-large seat, or do we want to open it up for more than one to take both of these sub-district 2s?
I would suggest that since we have one candidate here, we consider that one seat. Should other candidates come forward, then we could consider that on separate individual bases. It's your call, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Yeah, actually, why don't we take a little break, get you sworn in, and then we'll discuss this. So little mini break. You can eat your popcorn. We'll come back in a minute.
For the Kapahulu, sure.
Right, by adding that large, but yeah.
But I think case by case basis, and that'll give the board members something to think about.
Right, we have less people really in. Not having that large. That's where,
Well, there were more vacant.
right.
So that's why I want to just say just for these 2 and not. They could, so. Right.
Yeah.
Let's draw them.
Has it?
Yeah. With, generally, research a lot.
Well,
A couple people we had do that are,
I was thinking, I guess, about the extension. See. Yeah, so. We don't have that's still.
but we would have like 2 people, we have 2 people though who could run for the at-large.
Okay, so calling the meeting back to order. So we were just discussing before that a friendly amendment to the motion that we ask the neighborhood commission to open up, not requiring us to, but allowing us to open up any vacant sub-district seat to anyone who lives in the neighborhood for an at-large seat, so that the 2 remain. I guess the way that the commission would do it and the way that they've listed it here is that it becomes an at-large seat at this point, but it's only for this term. It doesn't carry over to the future. Any comments on that? Yes, ma'am.
So I would rather go ahead and get, I've seen this before when they've had a lot of large seats. I would rather go ahead and with our agenda tonight with the one more, and then maybe hold off a month or two, until we turn the rest, 2 more seats at large. It's 2 more in sub-district 2, correct? Yeah. So that's my word of caution that see how it goes before we put in 4 new board members at large.
Are there any other comments?
Just for clarification, how many empty seats do we have right now total?
We have 2 left, both in sub-district 2. And as far as I'm aware, no one's come forward for those seats for this year. I think it's been vacant the entirety of the year. And maybe before that. Which is why I suggest an at-large seat for those, only for this term, to finish this term.
So it's only 2 seats.
It's only 2, and it would only be limited to this term. Any other comments about this? I'm okay if we do it one by one too. It doesn't matter to me, but I'm just thinking of, we're going to have to go to the commission again, and I think they would approve it, I'm sure, but you had an idea, Pixie? Or Laura? Can I do a little straw poll? Who's okay with filling it out or giving us the flexibility to have both seats filled at any time before our term expires? Okay, so given that straw poll, then I will make the motion that we ask the commission to open up the 2 vacant Kapahulu seats to be at-large seats, that we are not required to fill that, and with a provision that if someone from sub-district 2, that he or she or they have the right of first refusal to accept that position or to run for that position. That's the provision that I would make. So that is, I guess, a friendly amendment to the motion. Is that okay with you, Ms. Mattson? Did you make the motion? So, well, you made the motion, so
Not on,
okay.
I made a suggestion.
Okay, so based on that, that's, I guess, where,
Candidate.
okay, as a qualified candidate of sub-district 2 has a first choice. If not, then we could open it up, but are not required to. Okay. Can I get a vote on that one, I suppose? All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
That's everyone except, and Margaret and Samo, I saw you weighing in there as an aye. Linda's Margaret's an aye, and Ronan, if you want to weigh in. I didn't see him. And Linda, oh, that's an aye. And Linda, and that's an aye too. Is that right? Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I realize it's sort of, yeah, but I totally appreciate the concerns because I'm in sub-district 2 and I would like to have more robust representation there. But since we haven't had it for so long, so folks, if you're in sub-district 2, come on out. Catherine, thank you so much again. And so next month we'll repeat the same thing. With that, we are going to, and sorry for you've been waiting for so long, but sometimes, these little democratic things take time. That's, Rome wasn't built in a day. We got to do it the way we got to do it. With that, we have some public and community concerns that are not listed elsewhere on the agenda. So is there anyone with a public or community concern that is not on the agenda? Laura, go ahead.
Okay, two things. And I brought to attention, I think, of some of the people on your board, but the first one is the unfortunate plan that's been pushed ahead of the UH College of Education, lab school, charter school, and all area to be turned into a after hours, I don't know, retail and snack place on the campus. If any of you have any connections with there, or you simply like to walk by or drive by and you want to see view planes, all of that green grass will disappear. It's the people in Manoa were outraged when this was handed to them. My main concern as community person everywhere is things should be coming from the bottom up, not the top down. And this is another example of top down. There's loads more to go to it, but be aware if you are at all concerned about that, that's going to be done. And who knows what other places things will be done. The other thing is I also sent an email about the lack of responsiveness from the DTS, Department of Transportation Services, or Complete Streets regarding the conveyance over the Alawai Canal. There are so many problems that are still very problematical with anything that they're doing, and they simply do not answer anything. They have the same canned answers all along. Again, it's top down. They have offered no other revision, and they say what I think is most distressing of all for all of us is what they call design build. Now, how many contractors do you know who are qualified to do good environmental or landscape design and do the engineering business? The fact is they just do what they're told, and they don't have any creative endeavor, and they're certainly not communicating with the community. So I would highly recommend that everybody, weigh in when you can, that we have a whole community group. I suggested a group of people that I feel are experts that should be called in for any kind of design, and it sure isn't that towered structure. I'd like to see, of course, I tell them all the time, we don't want a bridge, and that we want to have the McCully Bridge fixed first, but that, and 700 people signing a petition doesn't seem to do anything to them. So I would suggest that you have a plan of action, I hope, because I know that you supported the resolution against the wanting to have a full EIS of the area, because it's all historic and it all needs much greater scrutiny. So if I'm just saying it, please, we're going to have something pretty soon. They have this Alawai watershed, I don't know, special district that's going to come along, and you'll be part of it too. Yes, again, it's another top-down thing. I'm very suspicious with, all the hooty-doos, that are going to be put on this committee, but not any of us regular people. So please be aware. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And if you have information about especially both of those topics and when the next any meetings about the bridge would be, and we should probably ask the DTS to come and give a presentation because we haven't heard from them in quite a while about the bridge, among other topics.
They have been MIA for 6 months or more without even any definition of the terms they're willing to use.
Could you also, I was at that meeting about the lab school, and it was a meeting of, it just devolved into pure chaos. And it was, as you said, top down, here's what we're going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Has that progressed since that meeting? Is that what you're saying? And do you have
They're
any?
saying that they're going to have another meeting, but they had already had a strategy and a plan, and the 100 or 200 people that were there were just outraged. They had already planned their way they wanted to present something, and they didn't realize that the community really wanted to have the major input, if there should even be anything considered at all. There's, I without going into everything, Puck's Alley is going to be developed by Can School, has loads of money, and they'll put in all the high-end things they want and the night spots and all of that. UH is never going to shine bigger than that. That's a small, there's so many other things. The view planes are just going to be atrociously lost. And once we lose that green open space, that welcoming to UH and to the Manoa Valley, it's gone.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that. And if you have anything to drop in the chat so people could follow that, that would be great.
Oh yeah, they can contact me. Yes, I will.
Okay. Are there other community concerns, public concerns open for? Yes, sir.
My concern was at the Liho elementary school meeting. one of the major topics that came up for me was that this one gal that has been living in her home since 1959, and her property taxes have just escalated, and she hasn't added anything to her home. The taxes just keep going up. And that's the property taxes. So the problem is, for me, in my view, is the assessment process that we currently have in Honolulu. And so basically, the property I'm on, my grandfather bought the property. I'm third generation. My grandchildren live on the property. They're fifth generation. So I shudder to think what will happen 7 generations from now, what the property taxes will be when my grandchildren eventually take over the property. And so my concern is to revamp the assessment process, because we'll never be able to keep up with outside money coming in and buying property, and the real estate investors will just keep pumping it up. And for the rest of us that want to stay in Hawaii, we basically will be forced out. So as a board, I think we should really press this issue to address the assessment process that is currently being used for property taxes. And that's my opinion. And to me, that should be one of our major causes.
Thank you, Bruce. Linda?
I'll be quick about this, but I think some people, including me, are getting priced out of paradise. My monthly bill went up at least $2,000 between property tax and maintenance. So it's getting tighter and tighter, and the cost of food and the inflation. I wholeheartedly agree. I don't want to be one of the ones that's leaving. And every day there's more local friends that are leaving.
Okay, are there other community concerns or anybody online? I see Paula.
Not related to this content, sir.
That's okay.
Can I talk about something else? I hate to distract people from that.
I think, yeah, you can go ahead.
Hi, my name is Paula Bender, and originally I was supposed to be doing a presentation for the Hawaii Bicycling League walk, bike, drive presentation. And the whole point is to get drivers, and believe it or not, cyclists are actually considered drivers, and pedestrians and cyclists to have some kind of sense of kuleana between the three of us, to have more calm interactions on our roads. And I know it's difficult when we have e-cyclists and mopeds who are doing wheelies. And then there are also motorcyclists who speed so fastly that they end up becoming another fatality. And so now we're at 80 fatalities in August. And as a result, I really think that we all need to assess how we feel about being on the road and sharing the road with others, cyclists and pedestrians, mopeds and e-bikes, and how as drivers surrounded by at least 2,000 tons of steel or fiberglass, whatever it is, taking the initiative of being more calm, more, what do you call it? Focused on being a driver with aloha for everybody around them. And that's my message.
Thank you, Paula.
Sure. Thank you.
And Margaret?
Mainland, I'm up in Canada, and a lot of the communities are starting to object to the bike lanes being added to important streets and deleting vehicular lanes I took a picture of the article that was in one of the national papers here. And it's just, they're kind of getting sick of having to, defend our point, as drivers here with the bikers and, we'd all like to get along and things, but like, for instance, why didn't they put the King Street bike lane on Young Street? I mean, just for instance, and it's just, we don't have the type of streets that can, that can handle bike lanes and delete all of the vehicular lanes. Like Cohio Avenue is a joke right now with the red bus line, express lane. It's backing up traffic everywhere. And it's just, people are starting to complain about it. And it hasn't been, Complete Streets is just going for it and not thinking. And I think that a lot of the accidents are caused because the drivers have nowhere to go with people scooting in and out on their bikes and their e-bikes and their mopeds. And that drivers are trying to make the lights. People are jaywalking. The lights aren't synchronized. And it's just a whole big problem. It's not that I'm a bike rider. But I have to get to work.
Okay, thank you. And is your hand raised, Paula?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Margaret. The Hawaii Bicycling League has tried its best and continues to do bicycle education, but not everybody gets our message, even cyclists. However, I would like to let everybody know that as cyclists, we are entitled to the entire lane. So sometimes it's going to take you a few seconds to back off a little bit, take a deep breath until you can actually pass the cyclist who's in your way to get to where you need to go. If you could all just take a Zen moment to relax, get by the cyclist as kindly with 3 feet at least as you can, you will get to where you need to be when you need to be. And if you don't, well, heck, this is Hawaii style. You might be a couple minutes late, but your courtesy will assure that everybody has a good day, that one person doesn't die, another person doesn't kill someone, and all of us are getting along and cooperating on the road.
Thank you, Paula. Yeah, and I think your message of drive, ride, and walk with aloha, because was just coming here and there was a pedestrian who was darting out straight across Kapahulu wearing dark clothes and thinking, oh, this is probably not a good idea as the sun is setting. We rank 6th tied in the nation for most dangerous states for pedestrians. So I think regardless of complete streets or design of the city and all of that, we can all show a little bit more aloha to each other and work on the rest of the stuff in the meantime. Yes, ma'am.
Mahalo.
I was chased by a band of people on bicycles with lights and doing wheelies, and it was a group of them. And I had to pull all the way over to the left side, and I was actually harassed, and I had to call the police. And they went to the right up the street off of Kalakaua, so they were in a different district. So I talked to the policeman after, so they knew what they were doing. So that does happen. I'd like to be friendly too. Thank you.
It does. And that meeting that Bruce was talking about with Tina Grandinetti and Chair Waters, the overwhelming concerns there were traffic related, speeding, bad manners, not driving with aloha, and unsafe, designed unsafe. These streets are just too fast to begin with. So it's something for our traffic committee. And as far as your suggestion, Bruce, I think, about the taxes and making something more equitable. I don't know if that's something maybe our planning and zoning committee might take up as a topic.
That's a little different.
Okay.
Uh, Might want to think about a special committee for that.
Okay.
Do all by itself.
Okay. So Bruce, maybe we can look at getting a special meeting for that, a special committee that would look at this and looking at some different models and maybe in conjunction with some other boards.
Mr. Chair, I believe there was someone present who also had a comment for one of the
Sure.
other issues.
If you want to come up to the mic.
Far as the property tax, I think we have a lot of people here that are just trying to survive, and then we have other people have invested in here and they have more than one property. I think they should be taxed an extra amount for those extra properties to make up the cost for the locals that really live here. I mean, they're using that as an investment and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Open up more homes for the locals. You you you're telling affordability homes, but there's no jobs. How you gonna put those guys on the rail line? You know what I mean? Come on, we gotta be real. And then as far as the traffic, the motorists, they pay the most amount of taxes. People that buy cars. And we don't buy cars to drive slower. We're trying to get to work, make our lives more efficient. I think the bus, the mopeds, the bicycles, they should have their own designated and the heavy equipment trucks and stuff. It should be designated their own, lanes. You would eliminate a lot of traffic, a lot of, we're putting stuff on the road, speed bumps that not even supposed to be there. I mean, we're all adults. We're not, all kids. You know what I'm saying? And if you look, the last 3 months, most of the fatalities have been kids under 25. My friend's mom who got killed at Luna Little Home Road, she was in the crosswalk and the driver was only 18. So who's responsible for putting those kids out there early and making, and that's all I'm saying, let's look at the facts and what we got to work with the things.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a comment. Somebody mentioned Young Street. Young Street runs from Isenberg. It all runs all the way down to Thomas Square. Thomas Square cuts right across, straight across. It be straight across. It runs to Hotel Street. So basically, it runs from Hotel Street, runs all the way to Ala Park. So you could do a basic bike lane that runs from Isenberg Street all the way down to Ala Park and cut right through behind the state capitol. And so to me, that's a great idea.
Places like Waianae, the freeway is only 2 lane and you got the bus in one. So basically we got the most 1 lane freeways in the nation, and these people, they got to put up with the traffic on the H1. Then when they get to Nanakuli, they got to put up with that traffic. And I seen the DOT, how they, phoned off the lanes on one weekend where they took 6 open lanes and put everybody into one. That's kind of unacceptable. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I think we have someone else. Paula, yeah, go ahead and then we'll, oh, I'm sorry.
Sure. Thank
after
you.
this.
Actually, my point was to make sure that everybody was aware that vulnerable users such as pedestrians and cyclists, believe it or not, mopeds and e-bikes are considered let's just say if you're in a car and you hit any of those, your penalties increase. And I love to drive. I love to ride my bike, and so I get it. But I just wish that everybody would keep in mind about the vulnerable users law and how they will be considered more vulnerable and in the right legally, as opposed to those of you who are in your vehicles. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, take a deep breath and just wait a few seconds, because that's all it's going to take until you can clear that cyclist, or the cyclist can get out of your way. And I am the walk, bike, drive coordinator for the Hawaii Bicycling League. And if you ride on Kalaniana Holy Highway, or you drive, you will see me, because I ride there all the time. And I love it. And I make eye contact and I do my alohas and my shakas. And I'm trying to build a sense of connection with drivers and others. So that's where I'm standing. And I appreciate your attention in this matter. Mahalo.
Thank you, Paula. And Anton Krucky has put something in the chat, which shows that this year, which has been a very high year for deaths, 14 vehicle deaths, motor vehicle occupants, 14 pedestrians from 1-year-olds to 90-year-olds, and 17 motorcycle, moped, and scooter riders. So, and bicyclists are 3 deaths. I think the point is, yeah, nobody wants to be slow or delayed, but the reality is these folks are driving too. They're crossing the streets. We all got to just do the best that we can. Laura?
I would also like to point out one intersection. I'm sure there are other ones, Punahou and King. The bike lanes there are going both ways, and the cars are turning left. And a lot of cars. That's, one of the major inlets to go up Punahou. And I pointed that out, and sure enough, there was an accident there. But I think we need to have the Department of Transportation people find out a safe way to make that intersection, because it's not.
Okay, thank you. Chad?
Hey, I don't have a solution for this, but this just might be some anecdotal evidence. I was almost killed in that King Street bike lane in 2021. I was heading from Kapahulu downtown in Estrada to go to work, and it was broad daylight. And just like you said, a motorist made a left into me in the bike lane and broke my knee, and I now have a herniated disc. You think you're doing something healthy by riding your bike to work, but set me back a few years. But yeah, anyway, I think it is very confusing. You have traffic in King Street going one way, and then the bike lane goes both ways. And, so the Young Street idea makes a lot of sense, and I, as a bike rider, I don't feel safe in like those lanes that are taken away from the road. I feel safer when I'm on that path behind the golf course. It's like a designated lane, or with a little bridle bridge in the park when I'm not with traffic. So if there's anyone listening that has any pull on how to design these bike lanes, I don't think we should take it away from the street, but the bike should maybe have its own trail or path that's unrelated and quite safer for a cyclist.
Thank you for sharing that. It's yeah, it is dangerous out there.
I've also been hit by a city bus.
Hit by city bus. Yikes. Okay, so this is obviously we have grist for the mill here for maybe a traffic committee. This is part of this. I did talk to the chair of the Diamond Head. I'm sorry, I did talk to the chair of the Kahala Neighborhood Board, who was interested in convening a Diamond Head wide safety corridor, at least in our area of the city, where we can get together and talk about some solutions for all of us. So that is something for our traffic and safety committee, which Margaret, you are the co-chair of with Anthony. So maybe we can convene something on that. And with that, I would like to move on to the next item if there are no more comments. Okay, thank you. And thank you for that. So we do have a, yeah, so end of story. Everybody drive with Aloha, walk with Aloha, bike with Aloha. We have a presentation Okay, this is from the office of Amy Peruso, District 45. And are you here today? You don't see anybody? Okay. I'm sorry. Yes, she said that they could not come tonight. They will come next month. But it's about pesticide use. And we have a lot of green right around us. We have Kapahulu Park and the Alawai Golf Course here. So I did ask them to make it a little bit more germane for us so that we can understand how this directly relates to us as well. We have a couple of resolutions. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to add to their presentation. I'd like them to discuss the chemical they're using to inject the palm trees against the rhinoceros beetle.
Coconut rhinoceros beetle. I will ask them if it will include that.
Yes, make sure it does because they're putting it right on palm trees that are right on the water.
Okay. It may not be part of her bill, but I'll see what they can do. Okay, we got a couple board resolutions before us. The first one is a resolution for the establishment of the Kapahulu Dog Park on the Eva Mauka corner of Kapahulu at the end of Alawai Golf Course. They're coming next. They're going to come next month. That's going to come after the next resolution because it's going to be part of that. So at the entrance to the Alloway Golf Course Parks. Okay, so we did have a committee meeting last month. Anthony is not here. There were various opinions expressed about issues about this. This was my resolution. And the reason why I want this here, I will just give you the 411, is that that's a remnant parcel, if you will remember, that was squatted on by that base yard for years. That was dredging. I don't even know what they were doing, but they didn't have anything to do in our area. They were past their lease. The city has proposed alternatively that it become a base yard. I've heard the following: base yard for parks to park their giant trucks there, a base yard for the golf course, a volleyball, a field, a homeless Honu center, and one more thing that was proposed there. Oh, a transit hub. These were the different ideas I heard, and there's one more on top of that. So the point being that the city is looking at what they want to do with that piece of property, but it's in the Diamond Head Special District. It's a protected scenic view plane. It has specific requirements, and so with the resolution that I made, Ms. Matson made a friendly amendment to include that it be appropriately set back from the walkways, as well as surrounded in green beauty that would hide any fence or and camouflage that from the public, which I wholeheartedly agreed with. So the version that is in the drive is her amended version of that resolution. So that is the crux of the point of the resolution, besides being that this area has no dog parks for folks to go to. It's consistent with what the city is asking us. It is not an either or, it is a both and. There are other locations as well that might be suitable for us to have dog parks or off leash dog parks, but this is discrete to just this specific place, and that is the resolution that I have advanced tonight. Yes, ma'am.
Just to make a note that it needs to be within walking distance of the residents who have dogs. And you pointed out some statistics on how many do and how far away other dog parks are. This location, if landscaped properly and consistently with the Diamond Head Special District, is a wonderful green space to enjoy with home pets and their owners. Canopy trees are very important. Street trees are very important. It's very bare down there right now. So I wanted to roll in some beautification for that end of Kapahulu. Because it's been so neglected and looking like an industrial area, and no thanks to other priorities by whoever's working on what. The other thing is on the map, I don't know if it really prints out the red outline, the perimeter of the dog park that's now set back and not the entire street frontage. That also has an entrance closer to Kapahulu, this central portion of Kapahulu, than down here at the entrance along the LOI. That is to accommodate dog owners who do not like to walk as long a distance. They still have to walk, but it's more central, as central as you can get in that area for that purpose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there other comments about this resolution? Madam,
I just have a quick question because I was asked by a dog owner to make sure that there was plenty of shade trees put in for the dogs.
nice thing is there are a couple large trees there right now, but yeah, it is looking like a former abandoned industrial lot, honestly, which obviously is part of this whole process. And it's just a resolution. We have no. So I don't see anybody else online that's there. So I will, what can I do? Entertain a motion to adopt the resolution as it's written in the Google Drive? Is that you? Yeah, okay. That was Arlene, seconded by Laura St. Dennis. Do we want to do a roll call? Just. Okay.
Okay, when I call your name, say aye if you want to vote for the resolution, and then nay if you want to oppose, and then abstain. Okay? Angie, absent. Bruce Wong, abstain. Julia? Aye. Margaret?
Aye.
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 Ronan?
Aye.
Aye. Anthony? Gone. Okay. Then Winston?
I.
Aye. Arlene?
Aye.
Thank you. Laura? Aye. Michelle?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Samuel? Yes, okay. Linda? Aye. Chad?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, with that, I have 10 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstain. The resolution has been passed.
Thank you, everyone. And again, it's we'll pass this on to the city and not an either or, but a both and. So as other locations come up, we can consider those as time goes by. But thank you for that. The next one we have is germane to us because we have Diamond Head State Monument here, and our friends at the North Shore have asked for some support on this resolution, which is opposing a gondola ride on the North Shore. And we have Kathleen Pahunui to tell us about this.
And at this point, I'm appearing before you as Chair of the North Shore Neighborhood Board. Rachel, could you go to slide 3, please? I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible. You should have a copy of the resolution. So basically what happened in 2018, the previous administration approved a conditional use minor permit for a rather extensive project that had zip lines, all sorts of trail rides and things like that. And Kathy Sokagawa was acting director at the time, and she just signed off on it. And it's ag land. It's up on the side of Mount Ka'ala, the Waianae Range there, and we were a little stunned. But luckily, we were able, Gil Riviere, Gil's on, as well as my board chair, vice chair, Raquel Chu. So say hi, guys. But we were able to get some conditions approved. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I'm facing you guys. So we were able to get some conditions approved, which was really good. So could you keep going, Rachel? Okay, stop right there. So these were the conditions in the 2019 conditional use. Back to the other one, please. Thank you. And we were at 50% or more of the land must be an active ag. It is not. and we'll get to some numbers in a minute. The gondola ride isn't one of those typical big chair gondolas. So I just want to make that clear. The gentleman that owns the property is a Canadian developer. His family helped develop Whistler. He owns a company called Outdoor Adventures. So that tells you his mindset. He's not really into agriculture. He's into doing an adventure, an activity. So this would be our version of Kualoa Ranch. Have no problem with Kualoa Ranch. It's been around forever, but he also has to do special use permits. And every time John Morgan makes a change, he has to go before the Kapahulu Neighborhood Board. We have no recourse here. So keep going to the next slide. So everything in yellow is the project, and there's a tiny little triangle in the center that land belongs to somebody else and they're not interested in selling. But all of the rest of it is owned by him or partners, and that's how much the acreage is. Next slide, please. This is project like, by the way, they want to put in 300 parking spaces. They want to bring 1,650 people a day to the North Shore on Kaukonahua Road. If anyone's ever driven on Kaukonahua Road, it's the most dangerous road in the state. We constantly have people, unfortunately, having sad accidents, motorcycles, things like that. At one point, he talked about having evening events and lights. He now wants to get rid of the lighting restrictions. Seabirds, anybody? This used to be a pueo nesting area. We still have bats up there, the hoary bat, snails, things like that. There's still a lot of native species up there, but he wants to hold events and things like that. Next slide, please. Okay, keep going. All right, keep going. This is just some pictures of what it's supposed to look like. Big. That's the gondola chair. Keep going. Okay, thank you right here. So this is the modification. He says he's listened to the community. He came to our board in 2018 with no plans, just said, hey, I'm Joey Hussein, blah, blah, blah. I want to do this project. It'll be nice bike trails, yada, yada, yada. And I'll come back and talk to you guys. The next thing we know, he's got a conditional use permit minor, never came back to the community. He has done small group tours, very controlled. I've been on one. My vice chair was on one. Gil, former Senator Riviere's been on one. And that's how they get the information out. So it's very select. So this, in community engagement, there is no community engagement, not like we think, like we all think there should be. So they come in with this modification, we find out about it, and we said, ho, 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 no, 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 you're not getting away with this. Because what you're asking for in the modification really isn't a minor anymore, it's a major. And it should be treated as a major. Now, he doesn't want to do it, and Marigold Zoll, Catherine came to our big meeting. I know most of you know Marigold. And she expressed concerns from DOFA, about what's going on. But he was supposed to do all this agroforest that he doesn't want to do anymore because it's too hard. He says he's doing agriculture because he leases land to a rancher for his cattle. Leases, that is the critical word, leases. Soon as he gets what he wants, guess what happens? That guy is gone. And my friend, my vice chair is a rancher. She has a farm up on there. She ranches cattle. And she knows the guy, and she's told him, dude, you do know you might get kicked off of this the minute he gets what he wants, if he gets it. Keep going, please. Okay, these are the numbers. So these are the changes in what he wants to do. So ecological restoration conservation is the same. Lower conservation, natural area. They claim they want to put more of it in natural lower conservation forestry. You can see it was 611 acres. Now it's going down to just barely under 60, barely over 50 acres. Grazing, he claims that there include almost 500 acres of grazing, but again, they don't own that cattle. It's a lease. So it's like he could turn around and pull that the next day from this guy. And the guy knows it. I mean, he knows that he's probably on borrowed time. Agroforestry, now they want to get rid of that. Agriculture, it's a little bit higher, but not by much. The support facilities are about 6 acres. And then the main agribusiness center, he claims it's down 2 acres. So it's about a 23-acre 100 project. Now, in the new land use ordinance that has got passed by DPP last year that will go into effect in September, we really tried to make it, you got to have 50% really hard. We really came down hard on this because if you don't have any agribusiness has to be support. This is not a support business. You saw those plans. That's not a support to agriculture. That is the business. And unfortunately, what happens, people come to Hawaii, and we have so many bad actors right now on the North Shore. They come here, they buy up this land and claim, oh, I'm going to do agriculture. Anyone who's ever farmed knows how freaking hard it is. It's not easy. And then suddenly they want to do ATVs, everything else but agriculture. Some of you may know Clark Little, the photographer, the surf photographer. Well, his dad has had a plumeria farm for about 50 years up above Haleiwa. And it is a true farm. And they do bring in like a little busload once a day of visitors. And actually a lot of local families go there. And they make leis, they take them through. But it's completely adjunct, completely supportive to the agriculture, and they're just expanding their farm. They signed a new lease with KS and they're expanding it. That's true agribusiness. That's true agritourism, not what this is. Please keep going there, Rachel. Again, just some more about the plans, the dark areas, keep going. Okay, this is our alliance. We put together an alliance. We have over close to 30 people now. A few weeks ago on July 30th, the North Shore Neighborhood Board, Wahiawa Neighborhood Board, Mililani Neighborhood Board, and Mililani Mauka Neighborhood Board held a multi-board meeting, and we discussed this. Our board approved the resolution that you have before you tonight. Mililani is taking it up at the end of this month, and Wahiawa and Mauka will most likely take it up next month. We had about 200 people. No one spoke in favor of it. The only person that we know supports it is the guy that owns Skydive Hawaii. You know, that's okay. That's fine. He can support it, but he's the only person we've met so far that supports it. We had a community meeting that we pulled together really quickly, and we had people come from Waianae. We will be going to Waianae and Nanakuli neighborhood boards as well. This is important for many reasons, not just because we don't want it in our backyard and it desecrates a sacred mountain. Mount Ka'ala is mentioned in many ole and mele throughout Hawaiian culture, is the place of many sacred Hawaiian spirits and gods and goddesses, if you've studied that. And there's a lot going on, as I mentioned, a lot of environmental issues with this as well. But we think the process is flawed as well. And if they can do this to us, they could come and do it to you. So luckily, our council member, Matt Wire, is very much on board. I think for most everybody we've talked to, nobody supports this. It's just a bad, bad deal. Next slide, please, Rachel. I think that's the end. So here are our conclusions. It's kind of hard to see this as an ag project when it's so oriented towards tourism. And this is somebody who has no background in agriculture, but he does have a very strong background in adventure, which is fine. That's great for Whistler. We're not Whistler. We don't want gondolas here. I'm sorry, we don't want zip lines on Mount Ka'ala. We got enough zip lines on this island. We have 3 other places on the North Shore to go to. We don't need one in the Waianae Mountain Range. We have Climeworks in Kahuku. We have John Morgan's place at Kualoa. I think there's one other someplace around there. So we don't need any more zip lines. And who's to say that, you know, somebody doesn't pay somebody off someday and you could see something on Diamond Head or Cocoa Head. So we're asking for this board's support of our position. We know that the resolution may not be worded in a way that reflects this board's ethos, and we respect that. But what we actually really only want is you guys not to support the project, to go against the project. We use some pretty strong language in our reso, and we know that it doesn't work for everybody, and we appreciate that. So, but what we really do is we would respectfully request that you support our position not to support this. And we've been in touch with DPP. They know we're going around and doing this, and hopefully we will be hearing from DPP within the month. And we hope that they will come to a decision that supports the community. So thank you. I can take any questions. I'm sorry, Gil or Raquel, was there anything else you guys wanted to add? They've been very patient.
No, thank you. I just, it is actually a gondola, just to be clear. The thing going most of the way up the mountain is a contained gondola for several people. And then there was an image of a chair, and that chair is what they're calling the zip line. It's actually a motorized chair that goes around from the gondola, from the upper cafe, visitor center station, the upper plateau station. That motorized chair ride will go further up into the mountain and back around. So that's for illustration purposes that we included it that way. So
Thanks,
that, yeah.
Thank you for that presentation. As chair of that neighborhood board, you certainly you have a lot of development issues on the North Shore. I mean, just driving around and hitting turtle traffic, I probably pull out all my hair, but if I lived up there, but your concerns, I saw that there was also something voted down in the city council. Was it last week or something? Oh, it was deferred. So yes, but your point is that, yeah, and I think the governor is looking at this too and asking for people to come out and give their manao for HTA and what our vision is for this. And do we want to be, have these sorts of things or become, Disneyfied in some even more than we might be?
Well, we firmly believe, and you guys feel the impacts because you're right on the edge of Waikiki. We keep screaming carrying capacity, and nobody listens to us. So I encourage you, we will be on those talk stories with HTA. We're already circulating on social media, but we're like, enough is enough. I mean, in 2019, we reached just about 10 million visitors. And and you couldn't get around this community at all. It was horrible. And you couldn't get around ours either. And it's marginally better, but not by much.
Not to disparage Disney. We love you, Mickey and friends, but in the right place at the right scale. So do we have comments about this resolution? Yes, ma'am.
Kathleen, thank you so much. This is horrifying because I believe it was past Governor Ben Cayetano proposed a tram for Diamond Head. And, the message has to get through to these people who want to exploit this land that we are very protective. We have laws, we have protections such as historic designations, cultural designations, and we take that very seriously. As far as the resolution is concerned, I'd like to see it a lot stronger. But, that's me. So I did think that it should explain the threat a little bit more, say what the threat is, what is being planned that has really upset the community and people who care about natural resources. And in the final be it resolved, instead of respectfully requesting, I would say urge the Department of Planning and Permitting. That's all.
Arlene?
This is Arlene. I read the resolution and I'm in full support of it as is. I think it's strong. I think it's good. Conveys the disaster that this development would be on the North Shore and fully support it.
Other comments? Any of our folks
Um,
online? Yes, ma'am.
Well, if there are no further comments, I would like to make the motion to adopt this resolution
Is there a second?
wholeheartedly.
Linda seconds. And is that also changing the word requested to urge? Okay, with that modification, are you okay with that, Linda? Okay. Is there any discussion? If not, I see Margaret.
Not only this, aren't there, didn't something just recently happen with the Turtle Bay area, the new project that they're proposing, the fancy one? And then also Andy, I've been away for 3 weeks, but also Andy Anderson's proposed project, and that's on ag land. Maybe I'm a little off topic here.
Is it
but
okay?
Has there been movement on that as well? Didn't I just read somewhere that something happened on the one that they were building, by the bird sanctuary?
Yeah,
beside
I
the
can
Turtle Bay?
update you, Board Member Murchie. So Andy Anderson's project at the literally 11th hour, we had nearly 900 pieces of testimony on third reading, which is pretty unheard of. And Esther Kia Aina, Councilmember Kia Aina, listened, and we're so incredibly grateful to her. And what they actually did is they recommitted it to the zoning committee. And myself, Raquel Chu, Vice Chair Chu, and Denise Antolini, who many of you know, had a meeting with Councilmember Kia Aina yesterday. So we're going to be working with her to come up with hopefully some positive solutions. On the Turtle Bay, Arate, which is a Utah-based company, is starting the building on their condominium resorts, which will sell for about $6 million. We have heard and somewhat confirmed that EV were found, and we've been trying to find out what the disposition has been because nobody's saying anything, and our calls are not my calls, but those who are directly involved are been trying to get information out of the State Historic Preservation Division. We have heard, and I don't have confirmation, but we have heard that it is possible that Host, which now owns Turtle Bay Hotel, will be looking to build at least one hotel, which it's zoned for. And we are talking with them as well about this. But we also have a lot
I
of,
just don't understand how they could do all of these new projects without, any fix to the roadways. I mean, it's crazy.
we're not going to
You know,
object to that at all. We don't disagree
and-
with you.
I know, but it's like nobody can go out there anymore. You can't get, and they've got all of these exceptions to, the having to handle the traffic, and it's just like nobody's listening. I don't understand how that works.
Thank you, Margaret. And Noella?
Oh, hi, aloha, everybody. I'd like to do a shout out to Miss Pahinui for her presentation. Thank you very, very much. That's a real special place for the people of the island of Oahu and also for the entire island chain. When I was in college, a few years ago, I was able to, within my botany class, the first semester was all the theory, and the second semester was actually going into the Mount Kaala bog, which is further down. And I believe it's on the military part of the mountain. But long story short, it's an incredible place to go. And as you go into the bog, and then you go back up the bog, and it's magical and mystical. I can't say anything more or less about it. It's just incredible. She mentioned the snails. I went in with the DLNR through my teacher at UH botany class, and it was an incredible things. There's things down there that would blow your mind. And my biggest concern, Miss Pahinui, is that if you even let them do this proposed development, it's not going to be good. So I'm very passionate about this because I have been in there, And I can't explain it, but I think that Ms. Pahinui and maybe all of you in this room will understand this. We cannot allow this. I applaud Miss Margaret Murchie for bringing up the situation with Mr. Anderson's proposal with that situation. And I think that there seems to be this great onslaught, and we're going to come and get you all out in the country. And I am very honored to be in this room right now listening to you people. And I thank you all for your, opposing things that are not good for the Hawaiian Islands. At the end of the night, in closing, I just, being a resident for, since it's been a territory, I wonder what my Queen Liliuokalani is thinking about all of this, peacefully with Pono. But that's what I have to say here. And we must never let anything get to Mount Kaala, ever.
Thank you
Period.
very much. Just a
Thank you very
couple of
much
other
for
things. If I don't
allowing
mention
me.
this, my vice chair will come after me. It is the highest peak on the island. We do get about 12,000 visitors a day on the North Shore, and our population total is 15,000. So it almost doubles our population. And again, the tsunami, our community was really negatively impacted to the point where we really have to do something about it. It was pretty horrible. I luckily was at work, but my vice chair, her mom lives literally barely 10 minutes from her on Papailoa over by the old Metal Gold farm. And she couldn't get to her mother, and her mother's a senior citizen. And she said, if I couldn't get to my mom, that might have been the last time I talked to I'm sorry, getting emotional, my mother, if a tsunami had actually hit. So this is our reality. This is what we live with. You guys live with it too. Every day I see the traffic and I drive through it. So thank you very much. And I am lucky. I'm going to get to go up there tomorrow. A whole bunch of us are going to go up with some cultural practitioners. So we're going to get to see it. So we're very lucky. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we've got an active motion. I think with that, I will call for the vote.
I'm just going to repeat the motion. So the motion was to support the resolution, but we're going to change the respectfully to urges, correct? Okay. Okay. So when I call your name, cast your vote. Bruce? Aye. Julia?
Aye.
Aye. Margaret?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Ronan? Let's double check that if he's online. Ronan? Okay, welcome. Let me see in the chat if he responded. Okay. We'll come back to you. Winston? Aye. Arlene? Aye. Laura?
Aye.
Aye. Michelle?
Aye.
Aye. Samo? Aye. Linda? Aye. Chad? Okay, and let me just double check with Ronan. Ronan?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay. So with that, I have 10 ayes, 0 nays, and 1 abstain. So the resolution will be passed with the amendment to urges.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rachel. And thank you for coming in, explaining and sharing this, because these are island-wide concerns that it seems to be, you're up there, but we appreciate you coming down. And thank you to all can give our good wishes to your board and the folks that are facing this. Okay, thank you.
It was great
Drive
seeing
safe.
Gil again too.
Thank you. And drive safe. Okay, so with that, we got about an hour left, and we have our city and county of Honolulu reports. We've got the mayor's representative, Director Anton Crookie of the Department of Community Services. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
Fine, Chair. Thank you for having me. It's been a very good meeting. For my report for this month, we always offer up that you ought to read the mayor's newsletter, and you can see that at honolulu.gov mayor/newsletter. Some items that were in there, it shows the tearing down of 1615 Alawai, which is close to where to your area. We also, by the way, put there's a property and a road that has a lot of graffiti on it in Waikiki and such, and that was put out, and EAH is going to develop that for affordable housing. There's some new people on the leadership team, and one I'd point out, Jackie Peeler is going to be at the zoo as a assistant there, and I think that she can do some good things. She comes from the Boston Museum of Science. Also, in part of where we are, there's a massive new solar canopy coming to the Alawai Golf Course parking lot, and that's where you get like a carport, but it's also solar powered, so that's pretty good. So anyway, check out the mayor's newsletter. A lot of good stuff in there. Going to the questions that we had from last week, the first one was really about feral cats and roosters. And I think you've seen in the paper, it's a multi set issues with that, but the city does do feral cat removal on city property. So I hooked up Michelle with the director of CSD, and then she got an appointment with the head of the folks that do the contracting, and she walked around with them at Kapiolani and looked at places. Michelle, you were going to get back to me on that hole in the fence because I couldn't find it. I went back out and looked for it, and I'll be glad to put an order in to do that. So you just help
I
me
have a
find it.
comment on, I have that comment on that, and I'll wait until questions. Thank you.
Okay, good. And so also on the feral cats, we partner with the Hawaii Humane Society for initiatives to control free roaming cats. You can look that up. You've seen that in the paper. There, like I said, especially cats, there's a lot of people on each side of that issue, and different solutions available or not thought as good. Could a Honolulu hot zone internet request for the Alawai golf course, and DIT is going to look into it. They didn't finish. They didn't get back to me, but they'll look at it, and I'll follow up on that. Request to add reflective features on Traffic Island by Leonard's Bakery. So Transportation Services completed their investigation on Kapahulu Avenue, which included the site inspection. Their site inspection revealed that there are existing temporary traffic cones on the traffic island. They plan to replace the temporary traffic cones with permanent delineators when staff and resources are available and as scheduling permits. Another one was illegal U-turn concerns at 3249 Diamond Head Road. They reviewed those concerns in that area at 3249, and they determined that they are allowed on this street, and it does not meet the prohibitions outlined in the revised ordinance of Honolulu, section 1584, which prohibits U-turns in business districts or in highways with 3 or more lanes. However, a site inspection found missing pavement markings, missing raised pavement markers, and several parking signs in need of replacement. So as such, a work order has been put in and has been issued with the DFM to address these items. For status, you can contact DFM 808-768-3622. So the U-turn was allowed there, but you got a lot of extra stuff for that review, which was good. Leahi Beach Park and Diamond Head Road concerns raised concerns about the collapse of the land in the vicinity of the drainage pipe and referenced prior collapse of a pavilion at Leahi Beach Park. And concerned about the integrity of Diamond Head Road where there's a bridge. So DTS referred this to Parks and Rec, and Parks and Rec does not have jurisdiction over Diamond Head Road. Please refer to Department of Transportation Services. So I got one going back to the other. The Department of Design and Construction may be referred to as they've done repairs to the bridge on Diamond Head Road in the past. So I don't know. I think maybe this would be a good one to review in when we meet with DTS and the committee meets with them. Like all these other ones are good ones for their Alawai Bridge project. I think Laura Ruby, she made comment earlier in the meeting, and she put her contact in there. I also put in the chat the 2 contacts, the website contact and the project manager contact for the project, that you can also get further information. And she put hers in as well. intersection of Wiley Avenue and South King Street. What can DTS do to improve the traffic flow and the safety at this intersection by the Humane Society? First off, I hope everybody enjoys the new pavement. They did get that project done that we announced we're starting. That area though, right in front of, there's a reason why the pavement starts where it does, is because where you come off the freeway and right in front of the Humane Society is the state. So DTS has forwarded your request to the State Department of Transportation, and hopefully they'll be able to give us a reply on that. Construction and traffic advisories. How can residents sign up for and receive city construction and traffic advisories? So I put in the chat box, H&L alerts is great. You get pushes. If you sign up for that, it'll come in a text or an email for you, and it'll tell you traffic closures, why, when they release. They'll tell you when it's over. You can also, I also put in the chat, you can go to the state site and they will show you construction zones and state road closures. But H&L alerts is pretty good. I know I have it on my phone. Natatorium, design and construction, and I think that the manager of that came to the parks meeting and kind of opened himself up for any questions. He didn't give a presentation per se, but he took questions and concerns. So maybe the Parks Committee can report on that. And then sidewalk repair at Queens Beach. What is the status of sidewalk repairs at Queens Beach? DDC project has been completed and open to the public. So those were the set questions that I had that were given to me, but I'm also open to any questions and comments and from you. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director. I think Ms. Matson had something about the cats, at least.
The what?
Cats?
No.
No.
Chickens.
Okay, chickens, I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you very much, Anton. It's great to have you at this meeting. I'm sorry about the communication problem at the last. Needed to hear from you regarding the chicken control at Kapahulu Park. The nursery staff assures me it's not the nursery. These flocks come in from the main park into the nursery area, and I didn't meet with Steve Rousseau, the of Sandwich Isles Pest Solutions. We did a walk, and it was very clear where that big gap in the fence is, where streams of chicken, hens and roosters use that as the entrance to their highway into the neighborhood, up a residential driveway to the street. And it's very clear where that gap is. It's at the end of the fence section where there's an old wall, probably one of the original walls that were built there, basalt rock wall. And we need to have that fence filled in because there's a post and then nothing, and this is how they all get through.
Right. Yeah, that's where I went to
asked-
look for it. That's where I went to look for it, Michelle. But see, I didn't know exactly where you were talking about. So if you can point me to that, I'll put a work order in to fix it. If I can
Thank
find the
you.
exact location. Yep.
I will do so. And you had asked for a photograph. I'm sorry, I haven't been able to do that. But I will continue to work with you and with Sandwich Isles. It's going to be a slow process, but there is a slight improvement. I wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and Margaret?
Sorry, my hand was up by accident.
I'm in on this one. I don't know. I'm just drawing a lot of similarities between this and, on the national level, the immigration crisis that we have.
I'm sorry. Okay, I think that was just some cross chatter. Margaret, go ahead.
I did just try to sign up for H&L alerts, and it's really confusing. I mean, you know, I don't know how, it was, I tried and I looked. And it's just, you know, there's too much stuff to read and you don't know where you can sign up.
So,
know,
you know, when,
easily.
once you sign up, an alert will
How do you
come
sign
out if
up?
there is one. And
How
you
do
have
you
to
sign
sign
up?
up and on the HNL alerts. I'll put I think I put it in the chat, but I'll do it again. But once you sign up, then you get a notice, and like a notice would say traffic advisory, H&L alert, and it'll give you the time, the location, and the status, and then the reason why it's signals out with a power outage, and that's all you get. And then when it's fixed, you'll
It's
get a
too
notice that it was
confusing to
fixed.
sign up. It's too confusing
Yeah,
to sign up.
I'll help you, Margaret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for putting that in, Director Gray. And Daisy?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Director, for answering questions last month. I have a dilemma regarding DTS and bus route number 20 to change in October. There's two conflicting messages from DTS. Last week at the UMPO CAC meeting, Pete from DTS said that the W will take over Route 20 and it will be discontinued. The night before, I understand Deputy Director John Nouchi was on TV, Hawaii News Now, and he said, no, that is incorrect. It will continue and the W will be added. So my question is, who is correct? Because a lot of people that work in Waikiki use the bus system. That's one. And two, regarding bicycle friendly, is the city thinking of doing bicycle friendly city and streets like they do in Denmark or Norway, etc.? Because several legislators went to Norway and then they had a tour and they found out how easy it is to get around the streets with bicycles, but forgetting that petrol or gasoline costs a lot of money and car expense is not as cheap as in the US. But I don't know if that's the direction that the city wants to go to make it more bicycle friendly for more tourists and people to come in, or what is the objective now? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daisy. And I see a W Swan. I'm not sure.
Aloha, Chair and Director. Thank you for taking my question here. We live down here on the Gold Host and the Diamond Head Ambassador, and we were fortunate to have the seawall rebuilt in front of our property. I won't go into the history on that, but is there any plan on the city to repair the seawall walk along the that stretch where a lot of people come down and use the beach area to go swimming? Thank you.
Stretch, is that?
It's along the they call it the Gold Coast area, from the Elks Club all the way down towards end of Coconut Avenue.
Yeah, I think we reported on this about a couple of months ago because there was a concern on there. And I think the response we got is there aren't any plans right now for that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Laura?
Yes, Anton, the concerns are mine, of course, with the conveyance possibly over the Alawai Canal, and that has to do with, it's been months and months, and there have been no modifications of any design or any furtherance. I get the exact same canned language every town hall or other kinds of things we go to. So there's been, that indicates to me there's been no action at all. And for some reason, the Hilton got a fast EIS okay to put their sand in, but the EIS that I have been insisting on and have 4 neighborhood boards in agreement with a full EIS for the historic canal, promenade, and park have not been at all addressed, still thinking that the inadequate draft EA is what's going to, I think the DTS is thinking we'll just fatigue and go away, but I don't think that it's proper for us not to have any community input. Furthermore, I suggested fully resourced community experts that would come in and be able to address the whole site. And I found no information coming back from somewhere at DTS or Complete Streets or anywhere about that. And I'm just very concerned. And if I can say one other thing, which is on the cusp between our two neighborhood boards areas, that is the city and county, or maybe it was state, hauled out 3 days worth of unhoused individuals' possessions from the Kapiolani Boulevard crossing over the Manoa Stream. And I assume that they are also to go in and clean up the green waste that's all in there also. But that's major. And what they didn't do, unless they've done it in the last day or something, is they did not close off the little openings that people use to go down and take their possessions down. So just like what Michelle said with the chickens, these are just other chicken opportunities. They are the unhoused individuals' opportunities to go back into the bridge area below the bridge. So I hope that you can address those things. I especially am concerned that there's been no action at all for what is proposed and where are the criteria, that is the build criteria for supposed contractor, which is going to be a design build, because I do not know of any contractors that have the qualifications to do any of the design part. And that's very concerning. And we also would want to make sure that any potential people are all local people and not people from somewhere else. Thank you.
Yeah, so Laura, I've heard these comments multiple times from you, and I am not planning on addressing them because I don't think that's my role. That's why I put in the chat Peter Garino's both email and his phone number. He's the project manager. I think he would talk to those subjects more directly for you. I don't think, I could do anything but call him. So I would just suggest that you use that conduit.
Except that you're the community relations director and not having any at all response from them coming back to us in the community is quite concerning. So it doesn't matter. It would almost matter if they were installing a comfort station in the middle of our neighborhood, but that would be something that you would have to address to us, and we're finding nobody's addressing it to us.
Well, that would be different, but the particulars about the bridge and your issues that you're doing are really with that committee. So I would
Well,
go to
they're
Peter.
not doing anything right now, and if you oversee them, then you should have some response, I hope.
Yeah, I don't oversee them. I would just get information from them.
Okay, maybe you can get some information. Why will they tell us that Shifty is still holding on to something? Because Shifty's not doing anything. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Laura. And
I have-
Arlene?
Yes. Hi, Anton. This is Arlene.
Hi,
I
Arlene.
want to ask the status of removing what I call the cliff dwellers at Diamond Head. They're lodged. I think I counted and took pictures of about 7 encampments from the end of Beach Road to the pathway up to the lighthouse. And there's a lot of trash coming down from there. And not only is it, a danger to the public, it's also a danger to the people living in these cliffs. There's been a rock slide in one of the areas. It's just a very precarious situation for both the people that are there and the public using the beach.
Yeah, I think at this point there isn't any, you don't need to do any additional urging about Diamond Head. We're on a mission on Diamond Head. And, our goal is to get to 0 there. And we're going to keep harder enforcements to remove folks from Diamond Head. That's our goal. So it's in the plan. And Roy Miyahira, who's the new head of homeless solutions, that he does report to me. He's meeting with the state and the city to continue, our work there.
Okay, and then the other up is the Gold Coast. I'd like to bring it up again because with the event of the really extreme king tides that we recently had, I was walking those seawalls and looking at the walls and the condos and the ocean, and they're all violently colliding. And I can't help but think that seawall got damaged this last couple weeks. So I would request that somebody, is it the state? Is it the city? Somebody inspect that wall. And some of the condos along the Gold Coast have no seawall protecting their foundations. And I'm still extremely concerned about that, even though I recognize it's private property, but it is on water, literally.
Yeah, I guess it's complicated, but I will urge again a review of that. That was also what W. Swan was talking about in my notes. So, Arlene, I will take that one and urge it again, another review of it.
Great, thank you.
And Linda?
Thank you. I don't know which Leahi Beach Park or Leahi Park you're talking about. There's three on Leahi Avenue. One is called Bumpy Park because it's bumpy. One is called Archery Park because it used to have an archery range. And then there's the one by the basketball court that does the summer fun project. So what were you saying about which Leahi Park?
You're asking me? I don't
I-
think I reported anything on Leahi Park.
Linda, I think I can answer.
Oh, good.
The Liahi Park is along the coast. There's Makalei Park, and then further up toward the lighthouse is Liahi Park.
I'm-
And he was talking about, and I brought it
Oh,
up
the beach park.
the
Yeah, the
question
beach
of the
park.
road, the beach park, because there's been a
Yeah, the beach
collapse in that part of the pavilion. And if you go there, you can see the whole area up to that drainage pipe that they're going to hopefully look at.
We have
Yep.
too many Leahi parks.
Yeah, not a park on Leahi, but Leahi Beach Park. And Michelle?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair Welch. Anton, again, something you mentioned, this covered parking with the solar panel came as quite a surprise. It was never presented to the neighborhood board like so many other things. And I'd like to know which department approved this, what sort of review it went through. Was anything discussed about it being contiguous to the Aloi Canal, which is on the historic register? And what type of impacts it might have on the significant view planes of the canal and the surrounding area, if any. I did have a chance to drive by it, and from the ground, it looks rather benign. But if you look at it from above or from any view plane, it could have reflective impacts. But, you know, these are questions that would have come up if it had been presented to us. So the board and the community could understand it better. The renewable energy source is fantastic. And more buildings should have solar panels, more city buildings. But this new structure over the parking lot contiguous to the canal, we didn't even hear about it. So that again, along with many other projects that seem to be on the fast track, did it even have a permit? Is it a minor review permit from DPP? Is it design and construction that's handling the project? Please fill us in, because we don't want to get caught with an even larger project that surprises us the way this one did. Thank you.
Okay, it's the folks that run the golf course, but DDC did do this project, so it's fully, permitted and such. Maybe they didn't come to you because it was just a construction of an existing facility and improving it. But I'll pass on your comments to Dita.
Well, I beg to differ. It is a whole new independent structure in an open space, and this is preservation land, its own preservation. The parking lot is an accessory use. This building, the golf course clubhouse, got a variance to be built here because of its height. And then we, not long ago, had a proposal from Topgolf, which would have completely ruined this community. So please ask your directors, DDC, DPP, everybody, to please inform the neighborhood boards. We have a bill before City Council right now, introduced by Scott Nishimoto, that projects must go before neighborhood boards, development projects. And I want to see that bill pass. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Okay, and Director Crucky, yeah, I would just echo that. Maybe in your next departmental-wide meeting, you could just emphasize that the communities really do want to have, we're interested in what's going on in our neighborhood. So anytime that, some projects are going to come that, would raise normal concerns, that be come before us and let us know about that so that we can have some input in there rather than the fait accompli. But yeah, that actual parking lot did have larger trees, and then it got plowed up and some tiny palms were put in into 2x2 wells. So I mean, it wasn't a lot of canopy loss the second time, but the first time that Mayor Caldwell was out there, the cameras were facing this way, but behind him was a giant pile of trees that had been bulldozed and put in the corner. So anyway, neither here nor there. But one thing, but without going into it too much, just as a question about a follow-up of this near disaster we escaped, luckily, with the tsunami. Obviously, we're very grateful that nothing happened here. It might have been very different. And I just wanted to know at what level is the city and the state and inside of the city debriefing on what might be done differently the next time, and when might we expect some sort of report about that of how things I don't know what what that was releasing folks or I don't know, but is there going to be like it's probably not to the level of a commission, but something where we're going to learn something from this last tsunami warning that we had?
Yeah, there always is the review of the situation and then information given to the public on that. That's part of the process. You can imagine, we had a lot of notice, and our infrastructure can only move so many people to get uphill. So they're going to have to talk about that. They talked about Haleiwa. That was terrible up there. There were some spots that were very difficult. And, you call 911 but an ambulance can't get to your house. So it is complicated, but they are reviewing that, and there'll be some public, reporting conversations about all of that. All these emergency situations have that as part of them.
We look forward to how we could all make it better next time. Obviously, we were very constrained by.
Maybe I can
land.
bring Randy down. He's the new head of that department, and because Hero left, and maybe introduce him to the board, and you can meet him and talk and get kind of to know the process. So I'll see maybe if I can get Randy to come to the neighborhood board.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming tonight and your dedicated public service.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Have a good luck. Okay, we are about 8:22. We do. We have a couple of our representatives, at least that I saw online. I don't see that anyone came from Ed K. Schatz or Maisie Hirono's office. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Arlene, our vice chair. Tommy Waters' office. We have someone from Tommy Waters' office here.
Aloha.
There you go, Adam. Aloha.
Aloha, Chair Welch and members of the board. Adam Dew from Council Chair Tommy Waters' office. Tasha Luke from our office did email out our August newsletter earlier today. I did want to say a thank you to Director Crucky for giving the mayor's city's report. This board is really lucky to have Director Crucky. He's very on top of it. Okay, I'll try to keep this concise. This board seems to be, as many things, concerned with traffic and our safe streets. So let's see. The Department of Transportation does plan to install an all-way stop at the intersection of Diamond Head Road and Mockaway Place. I really want to thank the board for this. They did pass a resolution a few years ago requesting traffic calming measures for Diamond Head Road. I want to give a special shout out to Michelle Matson, Arlene Velasco, Chair Welch. They've really been part of this discussion. There's lots of back and forth and concern for this area. So I do thank DTS for listening to the board and the community on this one. I also wanted to thank the board for the 2 resolutions that you guys passed earlier in this meeting. I did speak with Chair Waters about your resolutions. Chair does support your resolution opposing the North Shore gondolas, and he certainly supports dog parks. That area is under the jurisdiction of DES, but we will request that someone from DES comes to your neighborhood board to listen to your board's wishes and concerns for that area. I think the dog park would be great. Our office and Chair Waters did walk Kapahulu Avenue with a previous board member and Chair Welch along Kapahulu Avenue, and that was our location meeting spot. So great corner that intersects Kapahulu and Diamond Head, and certainly should take a lot of thought and care of what goes there. Sticking with Kapahulu, we did have some reports of a homeless encampment or near the Board of Water Supply booster station on Kapahulu Avenue. DCS says IHS and Corps is aware and will conduct weekly outreach services to the individuals there. No trespassing signs are also in process of being fabricated and is expected to be installed within the next 2 weeks. And lastly, Chair did have a well-attended Kamaki town hall that ended up being focused a lot on traffic and safe streets. That's what the majority of these questions were about. Certainly, if this board was interested in a town hall for your Kapahulu Diamond Head community, we'd be certainly to hold one for you guys as well. I think we had nearly 100 people at our town hall meeting. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions for Councilmember Waters' office. Thank you, Adam. I think I would have said there were 300 people at that meeting. So it was a lot. You got big turnout. It was really nice. Just the one thing about the resolution, I think maybe what we need to have is a conversation in City Hall to administratively just put it back under parks. I don't know who's mowing the lawn there, but sometimes Parks has mowed the lawn and sometimes DES mows the lawn. Sometimes I don't know, facilities and maintenance. I mean, in that very short stretch, you have the city, DFM, I think, is the sidewalks, and then you have the bike lane, which is DTS, and then you have the strip of grass, which is DPR and DES. So in 20 feet, you got 4 agencies, but whatever one can, best accommodate that is what we're probably looking at, because I don't know that DES has the capacity or the wherewithal to do that, but we could certainly have that talk with Director Hollyfield too. And I think Daisy had a question, comment, concern.
Yes, thank you, Chair. My concern is regarding the bus route 200 that the community is very upset about. And DTS has not gotten back to the community as to what they're going to do, what changes you're going to do, if they're going to completely dissolve that particular route and change it completely. It's been a few months since the community meeting and nothing has been said from DTS. Which seems to me as though they're just going to pretend as though they never heard the argument. But I think it's a very serious intersection for the areas and the residents that use it. Because when I see people in Palolo, a lot of people do use it. But when I see it coming down towards Kapahulu to go around the zoo aquarium, I see maybe 1 or 2 actually using it. So to me, it does not seem to be a very good money-making source for the community. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Daisy. We've certainly heard the community's concerns at this board and as well at Kamaki. I believe Director Morton has met with both of the boards, and last week, or maybe even earlier this week, we did send a request to DTS requesting a status update on how they were looking into this matter. So hopefully we'll get you'll get that soon.
This
Thank
is
you.
Arlene. I do have one little input I want to add. I was coming home at night on 6th Avenue on the Route 200 path, and the bus was making that very treacherous turnabout, and he almost hit me head on. So it's a very dangerous place for a huge bus to be navigating. It's on 6th Avenue. Yeah, there's a little roundabout thing, like a half roundabout. I don't know what you want to call it, but it is. If I was a bus driver, I would not want to be maneuvering that area.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I'll make a note of that and send it over to DTS.
Yeah, that's the route that's been in great contention, I think, for a while. And if it's a reticulated bus, I don't even know how they get around there. But yeah, that's the one that's zipping through Aloha. Yeah, that whole route just needed to be scrapped and go back to what we had before. There's going off there. Anyway, that's a thank you very much, Adam.
Sure.
Oh, we got one more comment from Ms. Metz.
Yeah, thank you very much for your report. While there are multiple city agencies dabbling in the preservation land of the LOI golf course and surrounding area, it is owned by the state. It is state land. And the resolution that we have specifically, or the resolution we adopted specifically requests that the Department of Parks and Recreation engage with this board and its constituent community members to ensure that the design and operation of the Kapahulu Dog Park within the park environment meets the needs and expectations of this community. Therefore, there would have to be planning and review of any plans by the community. We have asked that the Department of Enterprise Services Director be present at our meetings. We had a Parks Committee meeting where we had hoped she would attend. She said instead the Director of Parks and Recreation would take her place, and that director did not appear. So I think we have to reiterate time and again that we need the city departments to be represented at our meetings, especially those departments that have where agenda items include those departments and are specific to those departments or any review and result of the topic being discussed under those departments. So how can we get that message across to Enterprise Services? We'd like to have our director at the next meeting. Chair Welch?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, certainly. I can work with Director Krucky on getting a representative.
We'd like to have the director present. We've requested that several times now. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, then, thank you very much, and I hope you have a nice long weekend. State admission day, holiday tomorrow. You are off. Okay, thank you, Adam. And we are now with Councilmember Nishimoto's office. And I see you there, Kylie, right?
Hi, Chair. Hi. Hi, board members. Hi, everyone. Just a quick announcement from our office. If anyone still needs to file their taxes, Hawaii Vita is partnering with the Giving Circle Church in Makiki this weekend to prepare taxes free of charge. I know it's in Makiki, but this is a great event. We've worked with Hawaii Vita in the past to organize tax preparation clinics, and I know Councilmember with them on the state side as well to organize these types of events. So this Sunday, August 17th, from 1 to 4:30 p.m., they're having that event. I'll put the info in the chat. But appointments are required and there are some income requirements. So I'll put all the details in the chat. I will also put our eBlast link in the chat for anyone who would like to sign up for our eBlast. But if there's any comments, questions, concerns, I'm happy to take them back to council member.
Ed, are there any? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Councilmember Nishimoto did introduce Bill 53, is that correct? And that the new language in that for the ordinance, the new language that this bill is about specifies that the neighborhood boards must be presented with any development projects on, that are being reviewed. And I believe this may have something to do with higher density housing or whatever they may be. And so I would like to thank him for adding this language to the ordinance. Our neighborhood boards need to be able to review projects and proposals that the city is involved in. And perhaps this bill will assist them to take that seriously. And therefore, I want to thank the council member.
Thank you. Appreciate your comment. I'll definitely pass that on to council member.
Other questions, comments for Councilmember Nishimoto's office? Thank you very much for sticking with us, Kylie. And I hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks. You too.
Okay, now we will move on to our federal and state elected officials. And I don't think we have anyone here from Ed Case, Brian Schatz, or Macy Hirono's office, but if they're your neighbor or your friend, tell them they are always welcome. Ryan Aguilar said he could not be here tonight. So if there's anything to go back to the governor, then maybe Rachel can take that back for us for Governor Green's.
Yes, this is Arlene again. I requested a review of the LOI Small Boat Harbor Station, and I did get a response from the governor's office saying that it was functioning. And I went and took pictures and did some investigation, and it has not been functioning. So for the last like 15, well, at least 12 to 15 years. So we just recently had the Transpac racing event here, which is very prestigious yachting event race. And none of those boats had the capability of using a pump out station while they were at our harbor. This is really a terrible situation. And it's been at least almost a month since I responded with the evidence that the pump out station was not working, and I haven't received anything.
So I wonder if we could have that specifically requested in the meeting minutes to ask the governor's office about that again. Okay. All right. And then there's no other comments for the governor's office. Senator, is anyone from Senator Chang's office? I don't see anybody online. And I haven't heard from Senator Ihara or Fukunaga. I don't believe that they were here tonight. I know Tina is away. Grandinetti, Jackson Sayama's office. We may have somebody here, but I don't see. I saw there was someone hanging out. I did see Ikaika Olds here before, but he is gone. Okay. Andrew Garrett's office. Andrew's got, just for an FYI, he's got a tiny sliver back up by UH Housing. I believe that faculty housing is in our district somehow. Kind of seems like it would, yeah. So let's see with that. Wow. Okay. Chair's announcement. Do I have any announcements? We'll follow through. We're going to get a couple, I'll send that in. And Rachel, if you could make sure that we send that to the commission office about some flexibility for the at-large seats. Maybe we can work on getting that out to them together. Right. Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to check on their confirmation of board committee members. It's on the agenda. Is there, I already have put preemptively there. You're on there, Chad, and as is. Let's see if there's some folks that you can see that on there. If you're on one of the committees and I haven't got your name on there, just let me know. Likewise, I sent around just a roster for us internally. If you don't want that shared internally for us, then just let me know as well. But those are the committees. We don't have anything as of this second.
Chair Welch?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to suggest that we invite Rafia, our former board member, to join whatever committee she's interested in as a community member. But also that perhaps she could take one of the at-large seats on the board again.
Okay.
So that might be on next month's agenda. We'll have to speak with her.
Okay.
But as far as tonight is concerned in the committee structures, whoever from the community or whatever board member is interested in whichever committee, the committees are always open to their participation.
That's right. And we welcome robust participation. This is the ones that I had. So if I'm missing anything, just let me know. Now, Angie, who's not here tonight, did suggest that do we want to have a new homeless committee? And she said that there is one in, I believe, Ala Moana maybe neighborhood has this. It's just a suggestion from her, and she's well connected in that community. But I put it on the agenda.
This, I wouldn't support that. We have serious issues here, but I believe that even this homeless encampment right here in front of, or as you come in to the golf course parking, they're going to be doing something about that. They're definitely working very hard on Diamond Head. I think our board can actually comment on the situations as they arise. I don't think we need a structure of a homeless committee because it would just be one more thing that, I don't know, maybe one person's interested in. Thank you.
Or any other comments on that?
Anybody else could be interested. I don't know.
Okay, that's not on the agenda, but yeah, we did bring it up about a property tax committee. So maybe that's something that we can look at for next month. But we can't vote on that now, but maybe that's something we could look at for next month. It could even be an ad hoc committee or a task force, or I'm not sure if those are.
You don't have any additional committees or opportunity for additional committees to be discussed?
Not this time, but I
Under
can put
the-
that on next time.
I do see that homeless committee listed, but
Yeah,
the tax review committee just came up tonight, so.
it did under public concerns, but I don't think that we could vote on it today because it wasn't on the agenda for us to
Right.
discuss.
I think we need to have a few more board members present too, to
Okay,
get involved in that. Thank you.
thank you. After that, we have some sub-district reports, maybe from Julia for sub-district 1.
The next St. Louis Heights Community Association would be September 8th at 7 p.m. at Hokalani Elementary School.
September 8th. What day? What day of the week is that?
It's always the second Monday
The second Monday. Okay, second Monday at
at 7 p.m. at
7.
Hokalani.
Okay. And let me just write second Monday, 7 p.m. Okay. Linda, I preemptively put you as our Sub-District 3 chair. Do you have any report for Sub-District 3? Not at this time. Okay. Did anybody go to another meeting, another board meeting or public meeting? We did have the Parks Board meeting, but yeah. And then I think, was the meeting with Tina, was that between our last two meetings with Tina and Tommy? It was after our meeting. So actually, we had really good participation in that. Bruce Wong was there. Were you there, Pixie? Yes, you were there. Were you there, Linda? Angie was there. I was there. Anthony was there. So we had a fair number of folks going there.
Could you give us your perspective of the outcome of that meeting?
Yeah, actually, it was number one. The place where it was was that Liho? On Mauna Loa. So the principal there is super nice. We can have committee meetings there whenever we want. Even we could have this meeting there. He's no other school in our district. I called all of them just an alternative just to find out. But we can have committee meetings there. Super nice. Or we could have any meetings there. The police did probably about 6 folks there that were representing the police force, and they were giving away some things and also doing a little recruiting. The mayor's office was represented by a couple of folks. Roger Morton was there, as well as Kelly from DTS as well. And that was a lot. That was the huge majority of things, actually. Tina and Tommy were there, and they mostly just listened to the community's concerns. I would say there were 200 to 300 people there, and Adam said maybe 100, but I think it was way more than that. And of course, it was right. It wasn't built exactly as our neighborhood, but I kind of feel like we're the Kaimukis are our brother or sister, right? So a sibling neighborhood. And they were the same concerns. I mean, Aloha, speeding, traffic, the bus routes, all of that was, it was really spoke to the need to have a Diamond Head wide traffic safety issues and concerns, the transportation. So that was the majority of it. It went very smoothly. It was actually probably too short. They could have gone on another half an hour, but they had to wrap things up. Anybody else have any comments about that meeting that we had?
There were a lot of people that wanted to comment, but then you had to raise your hand, and a lot of people did not get to comment. But I'm sure there would be a lot more people concerned about the issues that came up.
That's right. There were a whole bunch of people that just didn't, they just had to end it because just to get out of there. So I would suggest they start earlier next time. But I really loved having that community forum. And in so many places where, we just had direct access outside of this type of meeting. So it was nice because it was more of a talk story and open format. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we've got the board meeting minutes recordings for timestamps for approval. So I did talk with the Kapahulu board chair, who is now also going to be on the neighborhood commission, along with Angie, or Angie Knight, our board member, and suggested to him that they're using I don't know, Chat GPT or somebody, Otter AI, to get proper meeting minutes. I mean, this is a very easy solution to the meeting minutes problem. We need to go back in time, take our video, run it through one of these programs, and get proper meeting minutes. And then I would suggest that at that time we could approve them, but I still think that they're insufficient. I think Michelle probably thinks the same thing, but they're just listed here because it's an ongoing concern. Madam Matson?
Well, as the reluctant secretary, it's obvious what we need to do. All these minutes excuse me, all these minutes were left in limbo. These are only the draft minutes from the NCO because the NCO's so-called executive secretary created his own policies, and one of those policies was to keep the minutes at 4 pages. Therefore, all comments, questions, concerns, and answers were left out after the general description of each topic. This is a violation of the statute of Chapter 92 because the statute states that the views of all the participants should be reflected in the minutes. That is the questions, answers, comments, and concerns, as well as the presentations. This time, for the last set of minutes for July, we finally did have some very good summaries of the comments, questions, and concerns. With the speakers noted, this is the first time in several years this has happened. And it may be because we now have a new chair and vice chair of the Neighborhood Commission. So we're looking forward to them mentoring the newcomers. So it will be better understood about what needs to be in the minutes and presented in the minutes as written summaries of the meetings that are required, complete written minutes. Therefore, I would like to recommend, as you suggested, Chair Welch, that this list of minutes be returned to the Neighborhood Commission office where they can utilize AI to fill in all the blanks they left. Because that is their job, to provide us. They serve the neighborhoods and the commission. We do not serve the Neighborhood Commission office. So it is their job to provide complete minutes in draft form for the board to review and approve or correct or whatever is appropriate. Since these are incomplete minutes, they should be completed as drafts and then returned to us.
I wholeheartedly agree. And, you know, it's for folks out there that say, well, you could just go to the video. Okay. If you've been looking at a project like the proposed Alloway dams, you know, that they were going to put in 9 different dams in the Alloway watershed, we're talking 7 neighborhood boards. And if I've got to go and watch 3 hours or more of every neighborhood board meeting, that's 20 hours that I have to do that instead. And it may not come up. It might be under community concern. Someone talked about this, but if it doesn't make it in there, I've got to listen very carefully. So, however, but with proper written minutes, I can easily scan for keywords. I can read meeting minutes very quickly. If I need extra clarification or I want to watch it, I can go to the timestamp. That's fine. That's a supplement. It is not a substitute. And I think that's where people get hung up on that. And then the 4-page thing is arbitrary and unnecessary, especially in this day of AI. So I think that problem should be easily solved. And I hope that the new commission members will press for this.
The last, because the comments, questions, and concerns were summarized as they should have been all along. These minutes are 5 pages, not 4.
I wonder if you used AI this last time.
I understand they were working with AI, but I don't know if it's permanent. I think they were looking into different types. Oh, our neighborhood assistant has something.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there was a chair meeting, so I don't know if the chair attended. So it start using AI. It's called My Ninja AI. We are using that to create our minutes. Because we are using AI now, we are including the person that asked the question, and the responses that were, provided. Because we do notice that some boards were requesting that, they want to go back to the old format. So because of that, we are doing that now.
Okay,
No,
thank you,
but-
Rachel. Yes, ma'am.
We were severely shortchanged by this internal policy of cutting our meeting time down, cutting our minutes down. There seemed to be some sort of motive behind all of this. One of the comments from the so-called executive secretary came to our meetings and took up the last 20 minutes when we had many other things to attend to. One of his comments was, well, don't just sit here at the table. Go out and do something in the community. Go adopt a highway. Go adopt a park.
I think it was
Excuse
more
me.
like 40 minutes.
I think we serve a purpose. We're elected by our constituents. We care about our communities. Isn't that enough? Thank you.
Okay, well, given that, and hopefully that, and thank you, Rachel, for subbing tonight. It's been a pleasure to have you. We appreciate the hard work that you do, and we want your jobs to be easier, and that let's all use AI as much as possible so that we can deal with that. Because also the feeling is that, you've got trained neighborhood assistants who can compile professional, proper notes rather than 30 different neighborhood secretaries, as competent and perfect as they may be. They could be of wildly different qualities. We should review those, what they have produced for us. That's where we come in. Anyway, so with that, I don't know, do I motion, do I just say, let's take it up next time, or do we have any other discussion on that? Yes, Ms. Picky.
What up? Are we going to?
It's
do
on
we-
it's on
do we
the,
need a motion to send it back to the NCO?
okay, well, it was up for approval, so I would say just no. And we'll send it back.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we return these minutes to the Neighborhood Commission office to properly complete them as
Okay.
drafts.
And maybe using the AI, that would be quick speed.
And that's fine, whatever it takes.
Okay, and Pixie, did you have?
Yeah, in light of the last tsunami exercise, a number of years ago, we had someone come talk to us about tsunamis, and they talked to us
To
for.
order, Mr. Chair, there's a motion on the floor.
Yeah, I would think we
Was
should
there a
probably deal with
second?
this first, so yes. Okay, that we send these meeting minutes back. Okay, is there any opposition to that? Okay, then we'll do that. And Anton said we could get someone to come out and talk about tsunamis, just to your point.
Because I had a lot better idea of what was going on with this one, because where we are on Leahi Avenue, we're actually in the yellow evacuation zone. And in that it was an 8.8, yes, we did evacuate.
Yes, you could. Well, yes, we're lucky that one, but it's just, yeah, just luck, dumb luck. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there's no further business, then we are going to adjourn 2 minutes early. Thank you all very much for your coming tonight, for your work, your love of our community, and for all of you watching as well. We appreciate you. And Spencer, big shout out for always doing a great job for our Olelo viewers later. With that, I will look forward to seeing you all in 2 months.